Hello, everybody. This is Maya Zahira with Psychic Protection Sanctuary. And I've decided to do an audio recording about how to disconnect from global fear. And those of you who follow my YouTube channel have gotten used to me doing lots of videos. But I've been thinking for a while that if I allow myself to do audio recordings, I will do more because I can just do them on the fly. So that's what we are doing here. This is this audio. I'm recording it March 23rd, 2020. So if you're listening to the replay really far in the future, just to give you context, this is during the coronavirus period where everybody's having to stay home. And at this point, we don't know what the outcome will be, but there's definitely a lot of collective fear happening. Now, I want to point out that no matter when you're listening to this information is truly valuable. And the reason for that is because it's been my observation that even before this global pandemic, that the collective energy on the planet, the predominant energy on the planet has been fear. Like even before this pandemic, this current situation, but it's just, multiplied times 100 right now. So no matter when you're listening to this, the tendency on the planet has been that there's like this constant broadcast of fear, and it's important to learn how to manage that, right? Okay. So before I forget, because I do have a list of important content that we're going to go over, but I don't want to forget this at the end. So I just want to say right now that if you would like more information about the work that I do, or if you would like some other free content and to stay connected, then you can do so on my website, which is www.psychicprotectionsanctuary.com. And since I know people will be listening to this all over the interwebs, you can also get a ton of free content on my YouTube channel, which is called Psychic Protection Sanctuary. So let's dive right in. How to disconnect from global fear. How to disengage from the collective energies of fear that are occurring on the planet, that have been occurring. So, first of all, I want to say, whether you're listening to this during the pandemic or later, no matter what, it's really important for you to honor your own feelings, whatever they may be. So I'm in no way saying that you shouldn't be feeling fear. If whatever's going on right now on the planet or in your life is causing you to feel fear, it's important to honor that feeling. Take the time to listen to what that feeling is telling you. If it has a message for you, if it is a teacher for you, allow yourself to feel those feelings, to express them, to process them. Okay? So we don't want to bypass our feelings if we can possibly help it. We want to feel so that we're not stuffing. Okay? But those are your feelings, okay? So it's totally normal to have your own feelings of fear or anxiety or any feelings whatsoever. But then we have the collective energies, the collective feelings on the planet, which are not yours. Okay. You might be plugged into the collective. So you might be receiving energies from the collective consciousness and feeding into it as well. Maybe your own fears are feeding into it. So it's this feedback loop, but you don't have to be. So let's talk about what the collective consciousness or the collective energies are, what I mean by that. So what it means is that if you take a group of people, whether it's all of humanity, or all of the people in a country, or all of the people in a state, or a community, a city, a neighborhood, a workplace, whatever that collective might be, there's usually a general climate to it. For example, you may have worked at a workplace where the collective energy was really good and nice and uplifting. Or you may have worked at a workplace where the energy was really bad collectively, like where everybody was afraid of losing their jobs, or everybody felt like they were underappreciated and overworked, et cetera, et cetera. So there was kind of a global climate, right? Like a collective climate in that workplace. Well, if you multiply that and consider it on more of a global level, then we have our global emotional climate, the collective consciousness. But you're being affected by all of it. You're being affected by the feelings of your neighbors in your neighborhood, the whole collective energy of your neighborhood, of your city, your state, your country, and globally. So it's all, okay? So if you are someone who is sensitive, if you consider yourself to be sensitive or an empath or an HSP, which is short for highly sensitive person, you may be really plugged into and really feeling the collective energies on a regular basis, not just during the pandemic, but like all the time. And so it's important to understand that there's a difference between your own feelings, those that are yours, and those that are being broadcast from the collective. The collective energies are not yours. And it's really important to just understand that. Once you have that aha moment, then a lot of times you're able to just simply realize that a lot of what you're feeling is not even your own. And suddenly when you realize that, a lot of that releases just naturally. You're like, oh, okay, all this emotion that I'm feeling, whatever it is, it's not even mine. And then those feelings reduce a lot of times just from having that realization. Now, with that said, when you are connected in with the collective energies, it can make you feel like your own feelings seem like they are intensified times 10 or times 100. So let's say you're feeling a little bit anxious or a little bit afraid or a little bit of whatever. And then that resonates. That is in a vibrational resonance. That fear is in a vibrational resonance with the fear that's happening on the collective level on the planet. And so it tunes you into that frequency, because like energies do attract like. That's one way that energies work. And so then you get connected in with that broadcast, or plugged in to that collective broadcast, and then it just turns up the volume times 100 to where it's blasting, compared to your own feelings. Does that make sense? So I want you to understand that you don't have to stay plugged into that. You don't have to stay plugged into the collective. There are things that you can do. Okay? And I'm going to give you some easy steps today to help you with that. And remember, no matter what's going on globally, this is an issue for sensitive people, like all the time. Okay? So I also want to repeat what I said earlier, that normally the most prominent energy on the planet has been fear. Like people, like all the competitiveness, all the competing on the planet, that's all fear-based. All the businesses that are competing, all the people that are competing, that's all because they're afraid that there's not enough. All of the people who are afraid, and rightly so, that there's not going to be enough money to pay rent or put food on the table, and all of the people in the poorer regions that don't even have enough money or means to even eat. But people of all different socioeconomic statuses, have been living in fear. That, like, in many ways, this is a fear planet. It's a very beautiful planet as well. There's many wonderful things here. But the predominant energy has been fear. You don't have to stay plugged into that. Let's see. Before I go into our tips, let me see if I left anything out. I just want to say that if you sometimes feel like you're crazy or completely overwhelmed with the energies on the planet, or with, maybe you don't realize it's the energies on the planet, you just know that you feel completely overwhelmed and you feel like you're going crazy. Just remember that a lot of that is not your own. A lot of that is not even yours. Okay? And let's be real here. Your own feelings are plenty to have to deal with, right? So let's talk about some steps for helping you disconnect from the global fear or from the collective consciousness. Okay? Before I get into these steps, I do want to give like a little extra step here that's just common sense. And that is to limit your exposure to news and other avenues that are sharing fear-based information. Like if you have a friend who keeps sending you messages that are really scary, I am not in any way saying to not watch the news. I think it is important to stay informed. We don't want to get into emotional or spiritual bypassing where we're completely ignoring reality. So I have a family member who told me that there is one news broadcast that she found. It was kind of a daily online meeting with the governor of her state that she's listening to every day, that she feels good about listening to that, and she's not watching everything else because it was too overwhelming for her. So that works for her. Find what works for you. Stay informed in whatever way you need to, but don't overdo it, because if you get totally enmeshed into the news, then, as you know, it can really suck you into fear. So keep that in mind. So here are some steps that I recommend, and I'm going to actually take you through them right now. I'm going to take you through them pretty briefly. So just know that you can take this exercise and you can take a longer time to do it with yourself later if you need more time. If you're a note taker, you might grab a pen and paper and just take notes as you listen and do it later. But do make sure that you do this exercise no matter what. I know so many people are feeling overwhelmed, and I really believe that this will be so helpful. And that's why I'm getting on here and sharing this. So I have 5 steps to this process. The first step is 3 slow, deep breaths. Now, some of these steps are going to sound really simple, but simple doesn't mean that it's not important. So right now, our purpose of taking 3 slow, deep breaths is to ground and come back to center and calm our central nervous system. Okay, so even if you've already started your deep breathing, go ahead and continue on with me. I'm going to take 3 slow, deep breaths. Inhaling through my nose, relaxing the jaw, exhaling out of the mouth. Take whatever length of breaths that you need. As you breathe, one more. You can even repeat to yourself, I am safe. I am safe. So now I want you to continue to breathe in a nice, deep and relaxed way. You're really anchoring into your breath. As you are taking these nice, slow, deep breaths, I want you to imagine and intend, visualize that there are cords of energy cords from the collective consciousness of fear on the planet. Those energy cords that were also plugged into you are dropping away. As you take these nice, slow, deep breaths, those energy cords from the collective consciousness are just naturally falling off. They may have been plugged into your energy field, but they are unplugging, just like you plug a cord, you unplug it out of the wall and drop it onto the floor. So these cords just fall and they dissolve. Even if you are not good at visualizing, your intention itself is really powerful. If you like to work with spiritual beings, like your guardian angels, that sort of thing, you can also call them in for assistance. But it's not even necessary for this process. You have the power to do this yourself. You really do. As you continue these nice, slow, deep breaths, now that those energy cords have dropped off and dissolved, you feel your energy grounding. So visualize, intend, and feel that energy from your feet and from your root chakra at the base of your spine is connecting in like little tendrils, little roots connecting into the earth, plugging in. Nice deep breaths. We're keeping this process really simple on purpose because I know a lot of you haven't necessarily learned my whole routine for energy protection, but I really feel that even this simple process will be really helpful. So the next step, as you focus on your breathing, is to visualize a bubble of protection, a bubble of light surrounding your personal energy field. So it's like a big egg shape of light. And I suggest golden light, since that is a vibration that is protective. But whatever color comes to you, whatever you feel guided, is fine. So you now have this bubble of protection around you. Focusing on your breath. Creating this bubble of protection allows you to be inside your own safe, sacred space. The world is outside and you are in your bubble. And acknowledging that you are in this bubble of protection, I want you to visualize and intend that inside this bubble you're filling it with serene, peaceful energy. It could be a particular color of beautiful light that's filling your energy field. It could be beautiful, peaceful sounds, perhaps nature sounds or beautiful music, healing vibrations of peace and serenity, perhaps birds chirping, birds singing. Or perhaps you see an entire scene of nature inside your energy bubble, if nature is relaxing and soothing to you. Whatever is soothing to you, just imagine it being inside your safe bubble. So even if you are needing to go out into the world or interacting with the world from your home, either way, you're able to stay within this safe bubble of protection where you are present with your own feelings and thoughts, but no longer plugged in with the collective consciousness that is not serving you. So now you can breathe easy, knowing that you can rest within this energy bubble, this sacred chamber. Take one more nice, slow, deep breath. And exhale. Just remember to honor your process, honor your feelings, honor whatever comes up for you. And you don't have to be bombarded by the energies around you, whether it's a couple people living in your house with you or the whole collective on the planet. Doesn't matter. You don't have to be bombarded by those energies. You are always sovereign over your own energy. And by that I mean you are in charge of your energy. A lot of people haven't really thought about this. Their subconscious belief has been that other energies have power over them. But that's simply not true. You are sovereign over your own energy. You are the boss of your own energy. And so you don't have to be bombarded by the collective energies any longer. During this really extreme time on our planet right now, every day I've been sitting and asking how I can be of service, whether it's through a free offering like this or some other services. And I just want to say, if there's anything that you need, feel free to reach out to me. As everything unfolds, I'll be continuing to listen to my own inner guidance and sharing whatever I feel I'm supposed to share. But do reach out if you need anything. And one way you can get in touch with me is on the contact page on my website. My website is www.psychicprotectionsanctuary.com. Wishing everybody peace and harmony and excellent health. Sending you all my love.